When an Australian company makes a profit, they are legally required to pay corporate tax to the government. For large companies, this tax rate is 30%. After the tax is paid, the company board might decide to distribute the remaining profit to you, the shareholder, in the form of a cash dividend. Before 1987, the Australian Taxation Office taxed the company on its profit, and when you received your cash dividend, the ATO taxed you again on that exact same money. You were paying for the exact same meat pie twice. This double taxation actively discouraged everyday Australians from investing in local businesses. To fix this, the government introduced the dividend imputation system. Today, we just call them franking credits. A franking credit is simply a tax receipt. It is a piece of paper attached to your cash dividend that proves to the ATO that the company has already paid 30% tax on your share of the profits. This system ensures that corporate profits are only taxed once, and they are taxed at your specific personal income tax rate, not the company's rate. Let us break down the exact math using a simple $100 example. Imagine you own shares in a major Australian bank, and your share of the company's profit is exactly $100. The bank does not give you the $100. First, they must pay their 30% corporate tax. They hand $30 directly to the ATO. That leaves the bank with $70 in actual cash. The bank transfers that $70 cash directly into your bank account or brokerage account. This is called a fully franked dividend. Along with that $70 cash, they attach a franking credit valued at $30. When it is time to complete your annual tax return, the ATO does not just look at the $70 cash you received. They use a process called grossing up. The ATO adds the $70 cash and the $30 franking credit together. They calculate your taxable income from that share investment as the full original $100. What happens next entirely depends on your personal income tax bracket. The ATO compares the 30% tax the company already paid against the tax rate you are supposed to pay. If you are currently working, franking credits act as a tax offset. They reduce the amount of tax you owe on your other income. Let us assume you earn $90,000 a year at your day job. In Australia, that places your marginal tax rate at 32.5% plus the 2% Medicare levy. Your total tax rate is 34.5%. When you declare that $100 grossed up dividend, the ATO calculates that you owe $34.50 in tax on that specific investment income. However, you hand the ATO your $30 franking credit receipt. You are telling the government the company already paid $30 of this bill for me. The ATO deducts the $30 credit from your $34.50 tax bill. You only have to pay the remaining gap out of your own pocket, which is exactly $4.50. You received $70 in cash, paid $4.50 in extra tax, and kept $65.50. Now, look at the top tax bracket. If you earn over $190,000 a year, your combined marginal tax rate is 47%. The ATO demands $47 on that $100 dividend. You apply your $30 franking credit, you now owe the ATO an extra $17. You receive $70 in cash, pay $17 in tax, and keep $53. If you hold dividend-paying shares outside of superannuation while earning a high income, you will always owe the ATO extra money at tax time. This is where the math completely flips and why franking credits are the single most powerful tool for Australian retirees. If you are over age 60, fully retired and have moved your superannuation into the account-based pension phase, your investment tax rate drops to exactly 0%. Let us run the exact same $100 profit scenario inside a superannuation pension account. Your super fund receives the $70 cash dividend. It also receives the $30 franking credit. The ATO grosses the dividend up to $100. The ATO then calculates your tax bill. Because you are in the 0% tax environment, you owe exactly $0 in tax on that $100 income. But the ATO is holding the $30 that the company already paid on your behalf. Because you owe zero tax, that $30 is an overpayment. By law, the Australian government must refund that excess tax directly to you. The ATO physically deposits $30 in cash into your super fund. Your super fund received $70 in cash from the company and $30 in cash from the ATO. Your total return is the full $100. You have legally extracted 100% of the company's profit without losing a single cent to taxation. This is why self-funded retirees structure their entire portfolios around fully franked Australian shares. Not every dividend you receive will come with a 30% tax receipt. You must understand the difference between fully franked, partially franked and unfranked dividends. A fully franked dividend means the company paid the full 30% Australian corporate tax on the entire profit distribution. A partially franked dividend means the company only paid Australian corporate tax on a portion of the profit. For example, if a mining company makes half of its money in Australia and half of its money operating a mine in Canada, it pays Canadian tax on the overseas profit. The Australian Taxation Office will not give you a franking credit for tax paid to the Canadian government. Therefore, the dividend might only be 50% franked. You only get half the tax receipt. An unfranked dividend comes with zero franking credits. Real estate investment trusts, or REITs, are a common example. Because of their legal structure as trusts, they do not pay corporate tax. They pass the raw rental income directly to you, and you must pay your full marginal tax rate on every cent. International shares, like those bought on the US stock market, are entirely unfranked.
The ATO does not hand out cash refunds without strict conditions. To prevent day traders from buying a stock the day before a dividend is paid, collecting the franking credit, and selling the stock the very next day, the government created the 45-day holding rule. To legally claim a franking credit, you must hold the shares at risk for at least 45 continuous days. The ATO doesn't count the day you bought the shares or the day you sell them. In practical terms, you must hold the stock for at least 47 days around the dividend X date. If you buy a share, collect the dividend, and sell it 20 days later, you get to keep the cash dividend, but the ATO will reject your franking credits. You will pay full tax on the cash.
There is one specific exemption to this rule. The small shareholder exemption allows you to ignore the 45-day rule if your total franking credit claims for the entire financial year amount to $5,000 or less. If you're claiming $5,001 in credits across your entire portfolio, the 45-day rule applies strictly to every single share you own. Franking credits are incredibly valuable, but they also create a dangerous psychological trap for older investors. Many retirees filter the stock market looking for the highest fully franked dividend yield. They find a company offering an 8% cash dividend with full franking credits, bringing the grossed up yield to over 11%. They dump their life savings into it, expecting a massive ATO refund. A massive dividend yield is almost always a mathematical warning siren. The dividend yield is calculated by dividing the dividend by the current share price. If a company's failing, going into debt or losing its market share, large institutional investors sell the stock. The share price collapses. Because the share price drops dramatically, the historical dividend yield looks artificially high on paper. If you buy that stock for the franking credits, the company will likely slash its next dividend payment to survive. Worse, the capital value of your investment might drop by 20 or 30%. A 3% tax refund from the ATO does not mathematically compensate you for losing 30% of your initial capital. Never buy a poorly managed company simply because it offers a fully franked dividend. A tax refund is completely useless if the underlying asset is destroying your retirement savings. Understanding franking credits allows you to strategically place your assets in the right tax environment. It is the difference between bleeding money to the ATO during your working years and receiving thousands of dollars in cash refunds during your retirement. Run the math on your own portfolio. Check your superannuation tax phase and ensure you are not paying tax you do not legally owe.
If this breakdown helped you understand your tax position better, leave a comment below with any questions you have about the 45-day rule or the pension phase limits. Hit that like button to help spread this information to other Aussies who are giving their money to the ATO for no reason.